Hi, my name is Neil Kelleher. In this video I'll be going over some exercises for the feet, or actually for people with collapsed arches in particular, maybe flat feet. The idea is to help you become better at feeling and controlling your feet. And these exercises may also be useful for people who haven't got those problems. Just a little bit of history here. I actually had collapsed arches for quite a while, and actually prevented me from getting into the army, so I moved to England and joined the British Army instead. And what allowed me to pass the medical was actually being able to disguise the fact that I had collapsed arches. And the exercise was relatively simple. So that's with my feet as they normally are when I'm relaxed. And all I did was I learned somehow to pick up the insteps, and I don't remember if I actively rolled my shins out to do it or not, or just tried to pull up on the arches so that I actually had arches, and thus was able to fool the doctors. I prefer to start to teach this exercise first with the knees bent. And generally the idea is to relax at the hips, relax the feet, relax the knees so that the knees collapse inwards and the feet are parallel, toes pointing straight ahead. And then from there the exercise is to roll the shins outwards so the knees point straight ahead. They can even roll outwards more so the knees point slightly outwards, and then relax. Notice the speed at which I'm doing this, and not like that. Try to feel your feet. So right here I feel the base of my big toes pressing the floor. Then as I roll my shins out, I feel the outside edges of my feet pressing down with equal pressure to the inside edges. Then I can roll out a bit further. Now my big toes start to lift, and then I relax. So you can practice that exercise, rolling the shins in and out, and what you can do while doing the exercise is noticing the change in pressure at the feet. So then the question is, well, what then is the optimal position? And I would suggest, as a starting point, what you can aim for is the amount of rotation that gives you equal pressure on the inside and outside edge of the feet. You can control there, and if there's any tension in the knee, if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, then you can adjust from there. Perhaps roll out slightly more so that the uncomfortable feeling disappears. And you can constantly adjust until you find a position where your knees feel comfortable and your feet actually feel comfortable as well. And one of the things to notice with the knees bent, where this action can actually come from, you may notice a change in tension in the tendons at the back of the knees, because it's actually possibly the hamstrings which are helping to rotate the shins. Might even be the quads are active as well, perhaps even something muscle along the side, attached down the side. But at any rate, as you roll your shins in and out, another thing that you can notice is any change in sensation at the back of the knee. So when I roll my shins out, what I feel is a slight increase in tension here, and then when I relax inwards, there may be a change in tension there. But anyway, you can notice that, and that again can be something that you can aim for. So finding the right amount of rotation that gives you equal sensation both inside and outside at the back of the knee. Next thing you can do is try the same exercise but with the knees straight. And they don't have to be locked, they can just be comfortably straight. Feet parallel again. And the feet parallel is just as a reference, so you can notice the change in direction of your knees with respect to your feet. So with the feet parallel, knees straight, here again, try to relax your hips. You might feel more relaxed on the inner hips. You may have to, but what you may find is when you relax, your legs naturally roll inwards. You may find that as you roll your legs inwards, your pelvis tilts forward a little bit, your tailbone lifts and your pubic bone moves down. And the amount of rotation may not be a lot, and this is probably because the knees are straight. So here again, now what you'll find as you roll your shins out is the feeling is in your butt muscle, perhaps in the side of the butt. Relax. As you relax, you may find your buttocks relax. Roll your shins out, roll your shins in. And here again, notice the sensation of the feet. With my hips and knees relaxed, I can feel the inside edges of my feet pressing on the floor. The outside edges are lighter. As I roll my thighs out, there is equal tension inside-outside edges of the feet, and now my inside edge of the feet becomes light. So that again is another exercise you can practice. Roll out, relax, roll in, roll out, relax, roll in. Going back to the knees bent exercise, another exercise that you can add on is with these shins rolled out, again, find a place of equal foot pressure inside, outside edges of the foot. You can actually try pressing the base of the big toe right here. Try pressing that down just a little bit. And if you've got even tension on the inside, outside edge of the foot, you might not need that action that much. But if you roll out a lot, anyway, what I would suggest is roll out, find even tension, then press down just a little bit with the base of your big toe, and then relax. Where pressing down through the big toe is more crucial, maybe more crucial, is when you're balancing on one foot. So what I'd suggest, roll the shins out, find even pressure on the outside, inside edges of the feet, then try shifting to one foot. And as you do so, press down through the base of the big toe of that foot so that the foot feels stable, so that you can easily lift the other foot without any change. And then return back to center, relax, and then repeat the exercise. So just to try it without the big toe activation, without the conscious big toe activation, roll the shins out, even pressure inside, outside edge of the foot, and then shift to one foot. And then try to lift the other foot. And there, because I haven't got tension on the base of the big toe, what I find is as I lift the foot, my foot collapses inwards slightly. So going to adjusting the rotation so there's even pressure, and then shifting. As I shift, I press down through the base of the big toe, and then I can lift this foot whilst maintaining the arch in the other foot. So that can be the next exercise. Roll out, gently press down through the base of the big toe, relax the big toe, relax your legs. Roll the shins out, even pressure, press down through the base of the big toe, and then relax. You could also try that same exercise with the knees straight. Roll the shins out, press down, roll the shins out, shift to one foot. Try and keep the base of the big toe relaxed. What you may find is that you automatically press down through the big toe as you lift the other foot. But if it doesn't, then consciously do that. To keep the shape of the standing foot, press down through the base of the big toe and then lift the other foot, put the other foot down, and then return to center. And as I'm doing that, notice that in order to lift the foot with the knee straight, I'm just lifting this hip. A couple other exercises you can try. You can try with the knees bent, but you can roll your shins out, press down through the base, big toe, and just as an awareness of where your center of gravity is, and this can be useful for balancing, is shift your weight forward until you feel your toes naturally press down. Try and, if you need to, adjust the amount of shin rotation so that all 10 toes press down with even pressure. Then shift back just to the point that your toes relax, then shift back a little bit more to the point where there's even pressure on the fronts of your feet and your heels. And then if you like, you could reach back a little bit more until the fronts of your feet have no pressure, all of your weight's on your heels. And you could press back even more so that the weight shifts to the back of your heels. Then shift forward just enough that the fronts of your feet press down. Shift forward again so that the fronts of your feet and heels have equal pressure. And then shift forward so that your toes press down. And if you like, you can shift forward a little bit more till your heels become light. And then in this position, try to maintain the shape of your foot. Try to lift the heels. Lower down. And then for this exercise, just shift back till your toes relax. Shift forward. If you need to adjust shin rotation, heels are light, lift your heels, lower down, and then shift back. One other exercise that I like for the feet is to teach my students how to feel when their foot is active, and this can be important. One of the poses that I'll have my students do is in a triangle forward bend, is to lift the hands. And in order to stabilize the legs so it's easy to lift the hands, one of the exercises that I often have them do, actively press the front of the front foot down so that the leg is stable. Then it's easy to lift the hands without any loss of balance because the foot is stable. That's only one exercise, but it gives a reason for this next exercise, which is shift the weight to one foot, shift the weight forward so that the heel is light. And at this point, press down through the toes. You can adjust the shin rotation if you need to, so there's even pressure on all toes and so that the foot has a nicely shaped arch. Well, there you go. And then from there, lift the heel of this foot, toes pressed down, even pressure on the toes and the forefoot, and then try to lift the other foot and balance. Then put the foot down, relax, and you can repeat to the other side. Shift the weight forward, toes press down, lift the heel. Rotate the shin in or out as need to. Shape the foot, find the position where where all toes press down with equal pressure, and then lift the other foot. And continue breathing, inhale. Exhale, you can try smiling at the same time, and then relax. Rest, repeat a few times. But one idea with that exercise, even if your balance sucks initially, don't worry, keep on doing it. Just try to gradually increase the amount of time, slowly get more comfortable doing it. And one of the more important ideas in that exercise is to learn how to feel when the foot is active. So that's saying in the example, Warrior 1, for example, you can deliberately press the front of the foot so that the foot feels active. And that's another thing. Even in a pose like Warrior 1, you can use a shin rotation with the knee bend. You can use a shin rotation so there's even pressure on the inside-outside edge of the foot. And you can also press down. You can press down through the base of the big toe to help that shin rotation. So it's not just coming from the hip or the knee or the foot. It's all three working together. So you're rotating the shin, pressing down with enough. So you're rotating the shin in such a way that the leg, knee, and foot all work together.